Mane oyangi odiochieng' ero manyoro, mine ma odak e kuonde dak mongore kendo modak kod kit ng'ol ma opogore opogore ne ochwalo ywak margi ka gidwaro mondo jok ma mine bende omi thuolo mar bedo e telo kochopo yiero maduong' mabiro timore dwe mar 8 higani.
And I'm the founder and managing trustee at Disability Trust. Our work focuses on the rights and inclusion of women and girls with disabilities in Kenya. I think it's to ensure that I live my life with as much purpose as possible. Exercise my politics in whichever way they come across, and live as freely and as joyfully as possible, which is difficult for women, and particularly for disabled women in Kenya. Women are being discriminated every day. It's unfortunate that happened yesterday, but I think the reason why it was highlighted is because it was captured and it was shared on social media. But violence occurs on women's bodies every single day, and particularly for women and girls with disabilities, they experience violence 10 times more than non-disabled women. So this violence happens, and we allow it to happen as a society. I don't know, maybe because of patriarchy. I don't know, maybe because we elect poor leadership. We elect leadership that is not conscious. We ourselves who work in civil society are also a bit afraid to push this agenda as effectively as it should. We are comfortable with the status quo, and when we are comfortable, we don't shake things up, and when we don't shake things up...
My name is Jackson Yoban, Regional Manager for Forum C, responsible for East and Southern African region, working as an organization to ensure that we give the marginalized communities and groups power to effect their change as the vision of the organization. And this is important because women, they are categorized as part of a group that is not given space. And so this day, the National Women's Day, is important to an organization because being Swedish organization, putting women at the center of development means everything for us. Everything that we do from programming, we have to ensure that women are at the center of the change process. So International Women's Day and our role as an organization as a facilitator, bringing it together, supporting grassroots movement organizations led by women, most of them, and also young people in this regard to ensure that we have environment that is more enabling for women to thrive and they do their work, protect their families, provide for them, and above all, contribute to the social change that we so desire. Yeah, I think when I read that, I saw the clip in the evening. It was so disheartening because you have to imagine how society has gone too low to kind of attacking this border young man, attacking a woman who is not able to defend herself. I think the level of madness in this country has gone a notch higher, and probably what we need to do as a country, how do we make this sector, border, because it's a big sector now, to have sanity in terms of how to observe the traffic rules, how to respect other road users, because that's where the genesis comes from. They don't respect the road rules, traffic rules, and therefore they end up causing chaos, and then they play victims. And the person who has been, injured is not really the madam who was being attacked. Probably did not do anything that put the life of the rider at risk. It is the rider themselves who are doing this. I think we're working with our partners in different spaces, particularly in the informal settlements and the country at large, to see how do they work with the traffic police to ensure that a lot of things really happen and create more awareness. We've done this kind of campaign before, brought border riders and the traffic police to speak to them what they need to observe to ensure that we minimize accidents on the roads. That happening yesterday in the eve of International Women's Day, I think it serves the biggest condemnation, and this case really needs to be brought to book. I want to encourage women to join politics because, you know, changes in this country happens at the political decision-making tables. If you are not in the table, you can be the man to be eaten. And therefore, giving women more space, more agents to ensure that they are in the right positions to advocate for change in this society, I think is a good thing for us. Or for me, and as an organization we have a program we're calling it Wezesha Binti, and we are trying to nurture, coach and support young women, aspiring young women for political positions, being mentored by experienced women, the likes of Diambo, Martha Karua. They are experienced women. Can they nurture these young political aspirants who are women and encourage them to step in those spaces? If we don't, we will not be having women politicians in the future. So I think I will encourage any woman who has the ambition, let them seek for support, and we are there to give them the platforms so that they can be able to, you know, air out what their agendas are for their constituents, and how can we mentor them to be better leaders in the future, help them to create networks which are very necessary for their political survival. On this International Women's Day, I am a father of 2 daughters, like any other person wishing well their children to grow up. And those who are also having daughters and their sisters, I want to encourage them that they need to be supported much more to be able to realize their dreams. And then remember, the Bible says when woman was created, it was created to help man. And that question I always ask people, can a weak person help a strong person? No. It means the women are so powerful that they were created to help men who naturally, patriarchal society thinks they are strong, but in essence they are not. If Kanjo is sending to you a truck to help you, there is a fire, it means you are unable to do right, and it means the fire truck engine that's been sent is more powerful than you. It is like a woman who was sent to help a man, and therefore I want to encourage women and tell them they are the strongest in this world. Thank you.
Jina yangu ni Florence Anoda, natoka Mapatini Wood, Mathare. Mimi niko hapa kukua kama mama ambayo mlemavu. Mimi ndio na organize walemavu wote kutoka Mathare. Nao Mathare tuko na shida ya walemavu. Hata ukitaka kuenda mahali mpaka lazima ukuwe na challenge kidogo. Hiyo challenge inamaanisha kwa kari sangine wawezi kukusimamisha upande kari, ama ukienda mahali mrefu unajiuliza kwa roho, mbona sasa ndaendaje? Unajiuliza kwanza ndaendaje. Lakini sasa ukifika huko sasa unaonekana kama watu ambao wako karibu na wewe wana umoja. Lakini kama wako na umoja wangekuwa wanatoa hata makari za walemavu kando. Ukitaka kuenda mahali zinapita unasimamisha, ama zinasimama zinakubeba zinakupeleka mahali. Sasa hii siku ya campaign tuko na shida. Hata ukiwa na kura unataka kwenda kupika kura, hiyo siku ya kura unataka kwenda kupika, ni shida. Mpaka lazima wakuje wakuchukue. Kama sivyo, ama ukisimama mahali watu wako na umati wanaweza kusukuma mpaka waanguke na utaumia. Sasa inabidi hata kura yangu nikae nayo kwa nyumba, sababu sina mtu anaweza kunishika mkono anipitishe. Lakini kama wako na umoja ni mzuri. Hii msimu ya kura watupepe kwa wanatupepa. Wakikubeba tupeleke tupike kura wakurutishe. Alafu panachali kitu inaitwa chakula. Sasa kama wewe ni mlemavu umekaa kwa poma, una kazi, una nini, lakini inaonekana sasa njaa inaweza kukuuma tu. sababu huyo mwenye ameshiba hawezi kujali mwenye ako na njaa.
My name is Wakeini from Coalition for Grassroots Human Rights Defenders Kenya, and we are part of organizing the International Women's Day, which we are coordinated by Forum Civ, Eastern and Southern African Hub, and our partner also Amani Kibra. The reason why we are celebrating International Women's Day, first being a woman and a woman frontliner, where today also we are celebrating women change makers, is first to acknowledge the work we have been doing. Like we do a lot of work as women, from private sphere to public sphere, but most of the time you're never celebrated. We have seen even the work as women that we've been doing even during time of COVID, and most of the time also the issues we deal with, it affect our mental well-being. So despite having our own chamas speaking, but we also even to do exercise, connect with the nature, but speak to each other, to encourage each other. The things that have things works against us, but we're strong together. We still have hope. And also especially also because you saw all of you the video that went yesterday viral of a woman who was defined by the border riders, is one condemning the act of any form of violence against women, but also holding the perpetrators into account through a public institution, but also saying we're heading to election. How safe are we as women frontliners? How safe are we as women change makers? So also demanding that part of the government to be protected, but also encouraging supporters, allies to continue supporting women, either in our houses, in our offices, in our public spaces, supporting our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, the work they do, and appreciating women. And for me, this day also is important because in a year, I don't have even most of the time also to have my me time. Dancing near Zumba, dancing with other women, also it contributes a lot to our well-being. And also just meeting up and smiling and being happy as women. I think my role first is just to speak up when there's human rights violation. At the same time, contributing to a just and dignified world, especially because most of the time the society does not support us women, the patriarchal part. Just ensuring that all of us are respected and loved and supported. And co-organized spaces that support each one of us, whether man or gender non-conforming. Yeah. So the thing is that women, we don't fear being in political larry, especially now that we're heading to election. We fear our security because most of the time in these political spaces, there's a lot of violence that is usually targeted to women. And we have seen even already with other that we have had. So what we want also to participate effectively in this leadership position is that to ensure that women, we are protected. First, to ensure that we're able to vote and we're able to go to the public spaces like other people and participate to our democracy and human rights. Yeah. So I'll encourage as many women as possible during election. Let's go and vote for genuine leaders, and vote also for more women leaders into political spaces. Yeah. And also people should stop criminalizing women who don't have kids, who are not married. Like the way we say even within our own organizing is not homogeneous. There are women who are singles, there are others who are widowed, there are others who are married, there are others who are not married, there are others who have kids, who don't have kids. So we should not let this design of society criminalize women. We should let women be themselves in whichever capacity they are, even girls, and to be loved and to be respected.
Lolwe TV and Elizabeth